Alright, so I'm sitting here trying to figure out how to modify these seats, put them in the truck. I already had to remove the sliders off the seat. They're not going to work. They put the seats up too high. So here's the seats without the sliders. Now they're still a touch too high, and I can't get them back far enough. But the lower I get the seat, the farther back I can get it. So these seats are mirror image of each other. So this is the driver's side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to cut this whole thing back. I'm going to cut this off too. And I'll modify these to work with some angle iron. But what that's going to do, that's going to put this side of the seat down lower, right? This side hangs over anyways. I'm going to have to modify it to fit somewhere in here anyways, but that's going to drop everything down just a little bit more, which should allow me to scoot everything back just a smidgen more and get a little bit more the way I want it. So that's kind of the plan for right now. I'm going to modify that seat bracket and those two seat brackets and go from there and see what I can come up with. Alright, so that was the ticket. Shortening that seat bracket so it sits down closer to the floor like that. It's as low as I can go, but the back of the seat's still pretty upright, but it's not horrible. Got a little bit of room right here, but it's pretty much touching right here and just touching right here at the window. So that's it. I mean, that's as far back as it can go. Got the, oops, sorry about that. Seat bracket is pushed as far back as it'll go. I mean, that's about it. That's pretty much where it's going to have to be. It's sitting nice and flat. It's centered on the steering wheel good. So this is where I'm going to mark it out to go. I'm going to come in from the other side. I'm going to pull the center console out, get this all marked up, and get this one mounted first. And then it's going to be a matter of like getting the center console centered on the tunnel and then mounting the passenger seat the same way I mount the driver's seat. So getting the driver's seat done first, and just getting it finished, then I'll be able to mount the center console and go from there. But there's going to be a pretty big height difference now. You can see how much height I've taken out of the seat. This and this are supposed to be at the same height, but I can't take any height out of the center console because of the way seatbelts and everything mount. They're maxed out, so I don't mind the console's a little bit high. Most of the time it's gonna be folded down anyway, so it'll just be an armrest at that point. So, and I'm also kind of throwing around the debate whether you can put the center console in or not, but it'll be only 4 bolts. So if I decide one day I want to take it out, it'll be easy enough. Or these, I'm not gonna weld these seats in or nothing, but the brackets and everything are gonna be a little bit more permanent than the center console. Is gonna be held in with 4 bolts. All right, so here's the inside of the driver's seat. It's gonna be pretty straightforward, guys. I'm just gonna take a piece of 1-inch punched iron. 1-inch punched iron. It's my garage door guy talking. Sorry. Just take a 1-inch piece of angle iron and drill and bolt it here. Drill and bolt it here. Same thing here, drill and bolt it here, drill and bolt it there. And that'll be the inside bolted. And then the other side I'm gonna have to get a little bit more creative, but we'll start with this. Alright guys, so sitting here looking at this for a minute. I'm not one to underbuild anything, so I'm gonna do a 1-inch piece of angle iron here, a 1-inch piece of angle iron here, and then I'm gonna do a 3-inch piece of angle iron right there and modify it to fit onto that bracket. There's gonna be 2 bolts there, 2 bolts here, so it's gonna be just on this side 8 3/8 grade 8 bolts holding that seat down, which is pretty important to me. And I'll figure out the other side from there. There's that one. Bolt there. Bolt there. Nothing restricted on the back. I got these sitting here. Pick these up and clean them up. That's where I want them to be. Alright, so what I'm going to do for this mount back here, I'm going to take a 2-inch long piece and I'm going to build them together like this, weld them up, and then I'll make sure it's 1.5 inches tall, and that'll be my mount for back here, so I can bolt up through and then down through like that. And then over here on this mount, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut a piece like that, and then we get a piece of angle that runs along the floor by about 3 inches long. It's kind of hard to see, it's a funny angle. I'll show you guys when I'm done. I need 1.5 inches and a 3. Cut 1.5 inches first. That's going to bolt right there. That's going to get welded right there. Take this and vice grip this the way I want it. Looks to be just about right. Just like that. I feel like I need to do another one, exact same, just mirror image. I think I'm gonna. Alright, so this one's gonna go right there, like that. And this next one is gonna go mirror image. Whoops, sorry guys. This one's gonna go mirror image like this. That. That one like that. I can tell right now. Alright, while I'm waiting for all my seat brackets to dry, I am working on a few other little things. Got some tow hooks hooked up on the back, and got my track bar bolts swapped out with longer bolts. The ones I had were too short, and hopefully I can get the seats put in. But again, my battery's gonna die on my phone, or on my camera here, so once I get it in, I'll take some video of it installed. Thanks, guys. There's that mount there, that mount there, that mount there, that mount there. Kind of racing the rain today, guys. I got a thunderstorm coming. Guys, the passenger side is bolted in. There and there. Move you around over here without trying to make it too dizzy. That side bolted in, center console is bolted in. The other side's bolted in. Turns out that this bolt right here actually hits a little cross member down inside, so I could never even get a nut on that one. So I'm gonna try to knock it down flat and just leave it there. I just ended up not even doing that bracket on this side, just did one instead of the two. So I think 14 bolts is enough to hold the seat down. Alright guys, so this is what I ended up with. What I did is I centered the new driver's seat center on the steering wheel. So when I'm sitting here holding on to the steering wheel, I'm nice and centered on the steering wheel. Now, I got this gap between the console and the driver's seat. What I did at the console is I centered it up with the transmission tunnel. So it's sitting nice and flat up on the high spot of the transmission tunnel. And that put the passenger seat touching the center console like it would in the F-150 that these seats came out of. So what that ended up doing for me, guys, is left me with a little cavity next to the driver's seat right here. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a spot to hold my pistol and make another little storage compartment here. So I got somewhere to store some extra stuff. What I didn't want to do is push the driver's seat off center of the steering column, and I didn't want to set the center console off centered in the truck, and I wanted the passenger seat to be in the same spot as the driver's seat. So I made that choice to offset the center console to give me that little bit of extra storage space right here in the middle, which I really think will probably, I think it's going to tend to be pretty useful. Having that little like 2.5, 3 inch wide little cavity right there where I can build a spot to put my pistol, and maybe even a little storage box, maybe even a 5.56 ammo can will fit down there, something. You know, I figure that that'll be useful space since there's not that much behind. Right, so another little thing that just kind of circumstantial in this whole thing, I had to remove the factory seatbelt out of this cavity here. And I know the lighting's not the best in here right now, but same thing on the passenger side. Well, I got to looking at that. That's a pretty nice little cavity right there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build a plate to put there, and then I'll mount a speaker right there. So maybe I can get like a 6x8 up in that corner. That'd be pretty cool. I would have door speakers and then speakers back here, instead of having to do like a box. One of my little side projects while I'm working on the interior. I got them lights mounted. Little Amazon lights. They were like 30 bucks for the pair. You see I went through and clear siliconed the entire thing. They're Cree LEDs, so they're good quality LEDs, so as long as they stay dry they should last just about forever. I got them all wired in. I'll roll in some video of me running them at night. They're fucking bright, dude. For being just 6 little bulbs like that, They're absolutely incredible.
There's the factory headlights. There's the factory headlight pattern. Not much to look at, I know. And now we're coming here, flip on my new LEDs. Talk about a difference, huh? So, there's the factory headlights. There's the LEDs. Now to be fair, I'm turning the factory high beams on. Alright, so there's the factory high beam. There's the LEDs.